And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He's the new head football coach of your San Bernardino Valley College Wolverines. It is Nate Turner. And Coach, first off, congratulations on the new gig.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
So, Coach, for everyone out there, let's give me the quick snapshot of your resume. Where are you from? Where did you play? Where have you coached? So people can kind of get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm from Los Angeles, California originally, and I played football for John Robinson at UNLV before I got a chance to play in the National Football League for the Chargers, the Saints, Mike Riley, North Turner, some of the names. Played with Junior Seau, Rodney Harrison, all those guys, the big names. Got a chance to coach a little bit. I was at Long Beach Poly with Antonio Pierce when I first got into this thing, and then also got a chance to play or coach at the next level, at the junior college level, where I was at LA Southwest College, Moore Park College, a couple other junior colleges, and 3C2A. So this is something I've been looking forward to getting back involved with. I was just at a high school just recently at San Marino High School. So, it's just a great opportunity for me.
So you're a lifelong football guy. At what point, Coach, in your career, probably as a player, did you think, you know what, I'm going to be a coach someday? Like, I just see myself, being on the sidelines and grooming young men and being a coach. At what point did you kind of figure that out?
Yeah, it's a good question because most of us, we think we're going to play forever, right? And then injuries happen or something happens where we have to find a new path to a profession. So coaching came to me because it's competitive, gives me a chance to still compete, but more importantly, make a difference. You want to have an impact. You want to find what your purpose is. And I think as I was a player, a student athlete, I had coaches that made a difference in my life. And so I'll never forget those guys. Those guys were mentors to me and leaders. And so to have a chance to do something like that was rewarding. And so coaching was a thing for me. And that's what I want to do the rest of my life.
You mentioned Antonio Pierce at Long Beach Poly, of course, the legendary John Robinson. Who are your coaching influences? Who are some of the guys that you kind of pick things up from that you implement in your own style?
Yeah, without schematics, because schematics change through the times, obviously, but it's just how you approach young men. And Cornell Ward was one that was extremely influential to me, is how he approached, inner city at-risk youth that went through the community college levels of football, where some of these kids' hearts are broken when they don't get scholarships out of high school. And then they realize they got to go to community college. And some of those kids come in entitled. They feel like, well, you guys owe me something because I was supposed to go to USC or, Notre Dame or whatever. And now I'm here. And then you got kids that are extremely humble. And they feel like this is an opportunity for those kids. But more importantly, it's shaping young men. It's giving those kids an opportunity to see life differently, to see value in themselves again, to pour life, speak life into them through love, and that's what I experienced as a student athlete with Coach Ward. He spoke love into all of us. He called us all his babies, so that was just something that always resonated with me as a coach, father figure to a lot of fatherless young men. So especially in these inner city climates, and so to be a vehicle for some of these kids to not necessarily go to the next level and play in college, but just to learn what it's like to be an adult, to learn what it's like to, have a job and have a responsibility and go out in the community and be productive and have something to show for your time under, the coach's purview. You'll remember a coach for the rest of your life, because of the discipline, the work ethic, the adversity, and how to navigate through some of that rough terrain. And those life lessons that coaching sport provides for you. So building those relationships and having the ability to do that year in, year out was very attractive to me.
Coach, obviously Herm Edwards famously said, you play to win the game, right? And I know you're at SBVC to help the Wolverines get some wins, but, just hearing you speak right now, it sounds like you're a coach, you're going to make them better football players, you play to win the game, but it sounds like at the same time, there's bigger goals, there's bigger things, outside of football, and to get these young men ready for real life, right? The real world, the outside of football. I mean, as a football coach, is that part of the process, like getting to know them and groom them and, making them better, all around people?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I think as educators and teachers or coaches, so to speak, we all have the same objective, is to create opportunities for young people to be successful. And I think that football is a byproduct, or sports or winning is a byproduct of the work that we put in to show them what winning looks like. And it's not necessarily on the scoreboard that reflects whether or not we're winners, but how you approach the game, how you approach your classroom. You can win and by getting up early and getting to class on time. You can win by being a good teammate. You can win by being a good person in the locker room, how you are in the community, how you treat people, how you handle conflict resolution, and all the things that life's going to throw at you. You have an opportunity to win or lose every single day. And I don't look at it as losing. I look at it as learning. If we don't learn from it, then we lose. And so there's W's, there's wins and losses in life that we experience. But I think when you have a position like this in leadership and you have a platform, you want to share that message. You want these kids to know that we're going to win on a football field because we're going to be winners as men. We're going to be winners as people. We're going to approach the game of football as winners. We're going to tackle the classroom like we tackle out on the football field. So how we approach life and doing things the right way with purpose and substance and being very intentional is the way you find W's on the football field. You're building the culture. You're building the holistic approach to the game of football. And then football is just a byproduct. Football is just the fun stuff. We go out there with a bunch of winners and we end up winning football games.
All right, Coach, speaking of winning football games, let's talk about the Wolverines. Let's talk about the upcoming season. I know it's kind of a short lead-in to this season. You're trying to ramp up. I probably accelerate a lot of things to get ready for that first game of the year. Here we are, in July. What's at the top of your to-do list? What are you doing right now to get ready for the upcoming year?
Yeah, it's no easy task. I mean, I took the job. I knew that we're going to play against the best talent in the country, in the country. More importantly, California. You got your Mount Sacks, you got your Long Beach Cities, your Cerritos, and those guys, where they host. They boast a roster of over 120 kids. Where we're scrambling around trying to get some kids in here. So our numbers are low right now, and that's mainly because, I took over kind of late. Getting in here after the recruiting season. So if there's any other kids out there that hadn't found a home, SBVC is a great spot to start. But yeah, we're definitely getting our kids in here. We're letting them know that they have a football coach, and that it's something that the important part is to be the continuity in the coaching staff. The turnover at SBVC has been tough for our community, and so the goal is to have someone permanently here in this position to build relationships in the community, to have an impact, so that our kids walk away with not just a degree, but they walk away with an experience that they can come back and contribute to as community members. And I think that that's the first order of business, is to find out what the initiative is from the administration, what the community needs, and build my staff around that to accommodate that. And so putting together a staff is priority number one. Some of the staff members that I normally have, they've already taken jobs because they've taken jobs up in January. So we got a good staff here that was some guys and gals that stayed back. So we're looking forward to their contributions to our team this year. But we're still beating the bushes, trying to get some kids over here at SBVC, put the word out and let them know that this is a thriving place. It's trending up in the right direction. We started with a very small group. We're getting the numbers up now, and it's starting to take shape. So I'm really excited what that's going to look like.
So if somebody's watching the show, if they're watching this interview, there's still time. I know it feels like July and it's kind of late, but there's still time, right?
Plenty of time. Yeah, you got all the way up until August. I think August 5th or 12th. We start class, but they can get here immediately. We get them signed up. We get them enrolled, get their ed plan going, and they got plenty of time. The thing that we offer is a small group right now. So you get on our field right away. You play. You learn from some of the best coaches. You get developed, but you also have a chance to compete against some of the best talent in California, and all the facilities that we have. And we got KVCR. We got the talk show with Pep Fernandez. So we got a whole bunch of stuff going over here at SBVC, and we want to share that with our community and our adjacent community. We want kids to know that this is the place to be. We want to win the Valley. We want to make sure that our kids in our area know that we have a premier program that they're building, they're committed to, and you want to be a part of it. So there's plenty of time.
Coach, how would you describe your brand of football? I mean, maybe it depends on the guys you have out for the team, but is there a certain way you want to play? Like you a run heavy guy, spread them out, score a lot of points, defense first? Like how would you kind of describe your brand of football?
It's easy to say, hey, we don't blow bulbs out the scoreboard, right? We want to score all the points in the world. Of course, you want that, but it's always predicated on what you have in the building, right? So if I got a quarterback that can sling it, and I got some guys that can catch it, and I got a group of guys up front to protect the quarterback, we'll get after it. But if we don't, then we got to be creative and find some other innovative ways to do things. I've been in programs where coaches knew they couldn't compete with teams. They didn't want to make it a track meet, so they just would run the ball. They'd run the clock and make it a low scoring game and make it ugly, just based on what they had in the building. My philosophy in regards to scoring points and things like that, I think the best players need to be on defense, because defense can turn into offense. As you know, you get a pick six, that's points. You get a fumble recovery, that's points. You get a short field, we get a good kicker, we get points out of that. So best players definitely need to be on defense, and then we'll put some guys on offense to kind of try to keep up with some of these fast, high octane teams. But for the most part, we want to build a team that competes at the high level, can manage the clock and be smart and take advantage of some of the weaknesses. We want to exploit teams. We want to put a quality team out there that shows that they are physical, they're tough, and they're going to fight all the way through the end, and they're going to do it together. And that's more the identity that I want. I want people to see when they see SBVC on the opposite sideline.
And Coach, finally, what was your first impression of SBVC once you got there? Including the facilities. Like, what was your first impression about the program?
Like you mentioned, the facilities did stand out. I see that this place has a lot to offer, but I also think that the people that they work with, the support that they have here on campus. Once you get on campus, you get a ton of support. We've got the huddle. We've got counselors ready. We've got student support. We've got resources from EOP&S, financial aid. We have programs like Emoja program. We've got the Promise program through some of the local community efforts that we do here on campus. We've got so much to offer our students, and not just our student athletes, but our students, that it's really, really impressive. So to see that type of support that we have. Any kid will be lucky to come in here and take advantage of a 2-year program to prepare themselves for the next level, maybe a trade, maybe getting a degree from here and going out into the workforce. But more importantly, their experience when they're here on campus, they're going to be met with a ton of support from our athletic department to our academic services, our student services department, and along the line. We had a new president, Dr. Contreras, came over from Fullerton. Really excited what he's going to bring to our program, not just football or athletics, but entirely, his vision. So really excited with the new direction that they're headed in, and any kid will be excited also once they get here.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the gig. I really appreciate being able to talk with you and kind of, pick your brain a little bit about what the Wolverines might look like and your background and whatnot. We're really excited for the upcoming football season, and can't wait to see you in person out there on the sidelines out at SBVC.
Thanks for having me, Pep. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you soon.
You got it. That's Nate Turner, the head football coach of your San Bernardino Valley College Wolverines, here on the Inland Sports Show.